Atheists are stupid hypocrites. There's scientific evidence for gods, proven by people who aren't scientists. These are just some of the stupid things non-believers have to endure day to day. And so, here's a compilation of theists saying stupid things. Hello, I'm the Skeptic, the British floating circle that watches people make extraordinary claims, then I explain why I don't accept what they're saying. Why can't any of the gods just prove they exist, instead of sending folks to try and demonstrate their existence for them? It would save a lot of time and effort, and quite a bit of silliness, if the supernatural beings that folks accept as true just poofed into existence and said, I am real, you goober. But unfortunately, they don't do that. And then we have to listen to some very stupid things whilst being told that, because we don't accept that there are wizards in the sky, we're the stupid ones. So let's hear of more stupid things from theists. In Theists Say Stupid Things. Before we hear of those stupid things, if this isn't your first Skeptic video, hit the like, the subscribe and the bell and prove that the algorithm isn't stupid. And a super thanks to those that hit super thanks in some recent videos. Kevin, Karen, Andreas and Pert Tiorn. Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe bestows leaves upon you all. More hen. Okay, first up, questions for atheists.
If life is absurd and meaningless, why continue to work and look forward to tomorrow if everything is gonna eventually disappear and turn to nothingness?
If the tasty meal you have in front of you will be gone in a few minutes, why would you bother eating it?
Why are you continuing to make your own purpose in life if life has no purpose?
Why would you bother to watch your favourite kind of movie if the movie's just going to end at some point?
Why do you live as if people matter if in the grand scheme of things they really do not matter?
Maybe you think people don't matter, but I do. But why do I? Because I'm not a piece of crap that relies on a god's instructions to tell me how to treat people. I'm a piece of crap all on my own.
If morality is subjective, who are you to tell me how to live my life and impose your morals?
I don't. Apparently, a god does that. I tell myself how to live my life, and if that goes against the well-being of others, then I'm a piece of crap. Treat others as they want to be treated. If you can't recognise that, then maybe you should believe in a god, because you probably don't have the capacity to see it on your own.
If I want to be a murderer, and I believe murdering people is okay, then I'm right. And if you believe it's not okay, then you're also right. It's just a matter of opinion.
Okay, then see how well you do with that, because it won't be a god that deals with it, it will be a justice system. Do believers just forget that there's a whole law thing in place?
How are you okay with the fact that Hitler and Martin Luther King Jr. are going to end up in the same black nothingness? And why do you view one as better than the other?
How do I feel when people are dead? Well, they're dead. I mean, I have no real opinion on that, but it is a shame that one isn't continuing to stand up for human rights, and it's pretty great that one is no longer able to hinder human rights. I don't really understand what you're getting at here.
If good and bad are just made-up human constructs, and if good and bad are based on opinion, then if I think Hitler was a great guy and he did great things, I'm right. And if I think that Martin Luther King Jr. was a great guy, then I'm also right. The Nazi is just as right as the person calling for freedom.
Then you're a piece of Believing in gods has nothing to do with realising that some idiots are idiots.
Why do you believe that existence comes from non-existence?
Because there are experiments that show that it happens. Take the Urey Miller experiment, where the two dudes used all the chemicals you'd find on a newly formed planet and hit them with electricity and raised and lowered the temperature over and over like mini fake weather patterns until the simple molecules self-assembled into complex organic things.
Why do you believe order comes from chaos?
What do you mean by order and chaos? If you saw my house at the end of the week, you'd witness chaos in chaos.
Why do you believe life comes from non-life?
Because of the experiment I just explained? Why do you keep jumping around with questions?
Why do you believe morality comes from matter?
I don't?
Why do you say, I love you, instead of saying, I am chemically reacting to you?
Because I love you is easier to say than the other one.
Why do you say, I have a free will if I am a product of my chemical reactions? How do you have hope in general? If all there is to life is matter and energy, whatever meaning you make up is pointless because it will be fictional. Whatever purpose you make up is pointless and is also fictional. Whatever morality you make up is pointless and also fictional. And finally, any goals you may have for the future are completely pointless because everything will turn to dust at the end of the day. And in a couple hundred years, no one will remember who you were, what your name was, or what you did.
Okay, but it also doesn't matter if you believe in a god, because in a couple of hundred years, no one will remember you either. Unless you do good things now and try to make a difference. God belief doesn't affect that.
And 500 years, in the grand scheme of things, is absolutely nothing. So really shortly, no one's going to remember anything. How do you keep living and have the motivation to keep living?
Because I like it, and I don't need fake belief in undemonstrated gods to want to keep living. What kind of a stupid question is that? Well, we're starting off strong. Next.
Quick question for you. If you're an atheist, why do you not believe in God? And if you don't believe in God because you say the book is written by man, why do you believe in evolution? Because that was also made up by a guy, I think.
Oh, you again. Okay, I don't believe in a god because I see no reason outside of the claims of the Bible to accept that there is one. And evolution wasn't made up by man. Though, are you kind of admitting that the Bible is made up there? Evolution, despite it not having anything to do with the existence of gods, is an observation, not something that's just been made up. Next.
Hey guys, so today what we're going to be doing is taking a look at 4 points on why God is real and atheism is wrong. And what else we're going to be doing is taking a look at 2 questions. I'm going to try my best to answer them, and they are, what is God and who made God? Let's get into it. The first point we're going to be looking at is logic. Is it more logical for me to believe that in the beginning God made everything because he has infinite power, and because he has infinite power he can create something from nothing with that infinite power, and he has infinite knowledge? Or is it more reasonable for me to believe that in the beginning an explosion caused everything? Which actually, if you look at scientists, I haven't heard a reasonable explanation on what caused the explosion. Matter and energy. What was there before matter and energy?
Well, that just demonstrates you filling the gap then. Because you don't understand, it doesn't equal God. Is it more logical to accept natural, observable explanations for something, or more logical to accept one of the many supernatural explanations, of which yours just so happens to be correct because that's what your parents taught you? And yeah, okay, I realise this kid's young, but they have 5,000 subscribers, so yeah. But I tell you what, I won't be calling this one stupid, okay?
Matter and energy can't be eternal. God can be, because he's not matter or energy. He's not either. And I'll explain that on what in this next question. That made a perfect segue into our next question, which is, what is God? God describes himself in the Bible as a light. He's not photons or anything like that. He is light. We normally think of evil as darkness, you know? Wicked is dark and evil, dark, you know?
I just need to check. You're saying a God said about itself in the Bible that it is a God. So you just accept that? And light, I'm pretty sure that light is photons. So if the God is light, I'm sorry to say that it looks like it's also very photongenic. And evil is darkness. I don't know. Fire gives good light too, you know?
He's consumed by darkness. All that. Well, God is the complete opposite. He's consumed by good, and he has a righteous mind and a holy mind, and he wants justice. That's what us humans think of light.
I'm sorry, but no. There is tons of not good stuff that the God has done. The God killed everyone in Sodom and Gomorrah, firstborn kids of non-Jewish Egyptians, false prophets and their families, 5,000 Israelites for looking into the Ark of the Covenant, and many more genocides. That isn't a very good being.
If you're consumed by light, that means you're really a good person. That's why God described himself as light. So that answers the question on what is God.
Unfortunately not. That just answers the question on what something told you it was. And because you've been taught to accept it, you now just believe it to be true.
But keep in mind that we'll never know what God looks like, or we shall surely die. See you in the next bit. So the second point I have for us is building. If you see a building, you don't need to see who built the building to know that someone built that building. It's just a given that someone built that building. The earth is the same way. Nothing can just explode and then over millions of years we're all here. That doesn't happen. Can't happen.
But it does, because gravity. Surely you learn about that at school.
A mind must have delicately made us into what we are, and he made the earth and the heavens, and he made hell for Satan, and so on.
A few issues here. You need to demonstrate that things that clearly weren't made were made. You can't compare natural and man-made. That's just silly. Whoops. Sorry, I'm not meant to be saying stuff like that.
So if you see a building, you don't need to know who built it to know someone built it. That's how I view the earth, and that's how we all should.
No, because you can observe buildings being built, and it definitely can be proven how. And astronomers can see planets forming without the need for a god. I hate to say it, kiddo, but you're just wrong.
The point I have for us is laptop. So you might be wondering, what is laptop? What does that have to do with any of this? I'll tell you. So let's imagine me and you are walking in a forest, and we come across a laptop that is fully charged. And I ask you, how did this get here? And you say, well, over millions of years, in the Earth shifting its tectonic plates and lightning striking it, it got here and it's fully charged from the lightning strikes, and the tectonic plates had moved it here.
No, I'd definitely say that someone probably dropped their fully charged laptop. Let's take it to a police station and let them find the rightful owner. But thanks for trying. Maybe don't put words into folks' mouths.
I would look at you like you're crazy, that can't happen. So the more reasonable explanation would be someone put it there, and it's been there since.
Doesn't prove a god, kid.
You know what's crazy, though? God's that person because he created us.
Well, that's a hell of a jump, though. The far simpler explanation is that a person dropped it. Or Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe Leaf Be Upon Her was editing a skeptic video and left it there.
Fourth thing I have for us is truth is truth and not false truth. That's a mouthful, but listen. So, if I were to drop this, made a lot of noise, but did I drop it? If I were to say no, that's not true. But if you were to say yes, I could say, well, you have your truth and I have mine. No, your truth is the right way. So, there's only one truth. There can't be two truths. That's like if I were to tell someone my beliefs, and they tell me their beliefs. And I believe my beliefs are right. And they believe that their beliefs are right. They would most likely say, well, you have your truth and I have mine. No, you can't have two truths. There's only one truth, and that truth is Jesus.
Aww, because you said so, but that's just your truth. Saying you can't have more than one truth and then asserting your truth doesn't make it the truth. You have to demonstrate that it is the truth. It really isn't difficult.
The final question is, who made God? No one. God is eternal. He's always been there. Everything with a cause has a beginning. But God has no beginning. So how can something with no beginning is just forever bad? No, we can't even wrap our minds around it. If it never stopped and it never began, then how can it have a beginning to make it begin if it doesn't have one?
Again, you have to prove that it exists and doesn't have a beginning for you to then state it doesn't. Making up the rules for something to defend it from logic and reason doesn't actually defend it from that scrutiny.
And that's the point of who made God. So I'll see you later. Hope you found newfound knowledge with this video. And I hope you share it with your atheist friends, or maybe you'll rewatch it to regain some knowledge. Well, I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
I kind of feel bad that parents don't encourage critical thinking and allow this kind of thing to happen. I vow to talk about all gods with my kids and explain what people believe and allow them to make up their minds with plenty of critical thought encouragement. But hey, they got their wish. Some atheists watched the video, so I guess I did a good thing, right? Next.
How's it going, everyone? I was kind of thinking about the hypocrisy of atheists because for some reason on my X feed, every once in a while, some God-hating atheist freak will pop up. One of their posts will pop up on my feed, even though, I obviously don't want to see that, but...
Get off Twitter. Sorry, X then. You don't want to see why folks disagree with you because, what, you like living in your own little belief bubble echo chamber where you only hear from people who agree with you? Don't you care about finding out if what you believe's true?
Whenever I do see their content, it just demonstrates to me that they clearly don't really believe the garbage that they spew. And here's what I mean by that. Atheism rejects the concept of an objective standard of morality because they kind of have to in order to logically hold to their worldview. What they believe is that morality is just a matter of opinion.
Hang on, isn't your morality just the opinion of an undemonstrated cloud, dude?
It's all subjective. Now think about this. So that would mean that murdering people is not objectively wrong. It's just a matter of opinion.
So does that mean owning people as property isn't wrong? It's just a matter of opinion. Come on, man. Listen to what you say before you say it out loud.
It's subjective. Subjectively wrong. This is stupid and psychotic.
Less so than thinking that a man in the sky that you can't see or hear tells you it's not right to eat shellfish. It's like the pot describing the kettle as being the same colour.
Okay. Think about this. So you're telling me that morality is nothing more than an opinion. Well, how about the fact that everyone has an opinion? There's lots of different opinions out there. How do you validate one over the other if it's all just subjective? And here's why, well, one of many reasons, I should say, these people are hypocrites. Because of the fact that if morality truly is nothing more than a matter of opinion, why do they get so angry about people holding moral positions they don't like?
Because when you say your morality is better because it comes from something you can't prove to be real and actively goes against the well-being of humanity, you don't get to claim superiority. It's f***ing irritating.
It's all just opinion. If there's no true right answer and it's all subjective, then you have no justification to condemn someone else for holding to an opposite moral position from the one that you believe in when it's all subjective anyway.
And if you use that as a reason to be a then you're just a
So this is the situation. They affirm with their mouth that morality is based on nothing more than human opinion, but then they act as if it's actually based on an objective standard. They act in a completely different way.
Nope. If it could harm any or many, then it's not good. It's really easy, my man. If you need a god to tell you how to be a decent person, then really you're not a decent person.
And it just goes to show you how untenable and just self-defeating their logic is. Because if morality truly is a matter of opinion, then they wouldn't get so mad about Christians believing what we believe. And also, they wouldn't constantly try to attack God's character. Because again, if it's nothing more than subjective anyway, you do not have justification to go after somebody else for holding to a subjective point of view. But of course, I don't believe they actually think that. Deep down inside, they know there's an objective moral standard out there. They know they violate it every single day. They know that they're wrong.
To be honest, This is all pointless anyway, because morals have nothing to do with believing in a God. It's just being unconvinced. There may be atheists that agree with a lot of what Christians say is wrong. So who's stupid now?
I just think they're stupid hypocrites.
Okay, so what? I think you said a lot of stupid here, but that's okay. We all say stupid things. And so a whole bunch of stupid and one indoctrinated person in another round of theists saying stupid things. There were a ton of questions, and I maybe didn't hit them all, but you know what? Join in the conversation by leaving a comment, or you may think that some of this wasn't that stupid. Let me know in the section below. I'm going to skeptic this as only scratching the surface of the stupidity that's out there. A big thank you to this month's top level ticks on Patreon. Jerry, Dark Ether Piao, Tamo, The Barely Bearable Atheist, George, Godless Granny, Addy Rockhart, The Enixes, Jakari, Elizabeth, Whiskey Tech Fred and Rick, as well as all the $3 base ticks. You can become a supporter on Patreon too at patreon.com/theskeptic. The link is in the description, along with links to all my other socials. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically, and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.